gut checks are a great way, like we talked about, putting ourselves in these little uncomfortable situations so that we can handle it mentally when life gets hard or other stuff gets hard, so that we're not being comfortable and getting complacent with ourselves. Always good to test the gut, test the mind, and push ourselves. Here we go.
The regional, that 2016 snatch workout, is that a repeat? That's a repeat from one that you did in regionals.
Yeah, and that was at Carson. Was at Del Mar. So, but yes, that's a regional repeat workout. That's a very big highlight for me. Having weights in there that I'd never hit before in a snatch ladder. It was really cool. It was cool how I never even attempted the weight prior to once they announced that workout. I practiced it and I knew I had no issues up to the final weight. Like I felt really good, and that final weight was it was a scary weight for me. It was 265, and so I would practice it and I'd hit all the weights without any misses up to that weight, and then I would just do snatch pulls on that weight and be like, okay. And I knew that once I was on that floor, like the crowd, the energy, the all the adrenaline would help me get through that workout or get through those lifts. And I was stoked that I was able to stay positive when I started missing. I missed the weight, probably 5, 6, 7 times. And the fact that I was able to stay focused and stay positive with myself instead of going negative, which is where I normally would have gone back then, especially, that was a huge victory for me. And I actually had to use that video with my younger son right now, because he struggles with failing and then getting snowballing effect and creating more bad, just not being able to snap himself out of having a bad at-bat or bad lift or whatever he's doing, and he gets real down on himself and it just kind of snowballs and makes it get worse and worse and worse. And I was I had to show him, I was like, look man, you get upset when you miss a lift in the basement when we're working out. And now I'm look at this. This is what I had to do this. And I had to stay positive and talk positive to myself, or I would have kept missing, or I would have never hit this lift. And this was one of my best moments in actual competition. And I had thousands of people watching me fail over and over again, right? And so it's you got to be able to pull yourself out of that and not talk so negative. I'm and that was it was a cool that I got to bring that into with my son now. So that was actually a really cool moment as a dad and as an athlete.
And you got 2 reps at 265,
I got
right?
2, yeah. So I hit it, I missed it some more, and then I had to hit it again. And so, yeah, it was really cool. It was a super special moment for me. Hitting a PR, snatch is a special moment in anybody, for anybody's career. Being able to do it on the floor was really cool. The fact that and I'd hit 260. 260 was my max prior to that. So, it was only a 5-pound PR, but still, it was the fact that I'd never hit the weight. And not only was it wasn't in a 1 rep max snatch or 3 attempts at a snatch. It was hey, you're going to do, what was it, 10-8, 6-4. So 24 reps prior to doing it, right? Is that right? Am I doing right? 10, 8. So it was 10, 185, 8 at 205, 6 at 225, 4 at 245. So 10, 8. 28, sorry, 28. So it's 30 total reps. So 28 reps prior to hitting a PR, at heavy loads. So, yeah, that's really cool. That was cool that they brought that one back. That's a good one. Because it's heavy enough to show like strength, but it also gets your heart rate up because it's 30 reps. And it's like, it just shows also you have to be consistent with your movement, and stay in good positions, because snatch is such a technical movement. So it's a really cool event.
How's the knee feeling? It must be about 8 weeks.
Yeah, 7. I think we're just over 7 right now. And yeah, it feels good. It feels a lot better. I'm definitely doing, I'm starting to add some weight to like a deadlift. Like I got up to I did stiff-legged deadlifts yesterday at 265. I've back squatted 225 for a 4x10. I'm just going a lot slower, controlled. And it feels really good, like no pain with it. I did power cleans with 185. That felt really good. No issues. Yeah, it's feeling really good. I'm really happy with it so far. So we'll see, in a couple weeks. I did a little running thing at the boys' baseball with some kettlebell swings. The other day I posted about it, but that did kind of aggravate it afterwards. And I was like, shit, I should have probably done that. But it was a very, very light jog. And it was kind of slightly downhill and then uphill. And so I was like, oh, this won't be bad because the uphill will be easy. Uphill always feels better on my joints than any flat or downhill. But I think it might have been the downhill. But I was going really slow on the down. So, yeah, it's just fucking knees. Fuck knees. Fuck knees, Whitney.
When was the first time you competed at Carson?
2011. So 11, 13, 14, 16 were all my years at Carson. It was awesome. It's such a cool venue. It felt like, I remember when they moved it to Madison, it just felt less professional. I don't know. It was like Carson felt so awesome. You're at the stadium where the LA Galaxy are playing, and then the tennis court was so cool. It just felt really, and it was always, the weather was always perfect. You didn't have to worry about, is our cold fronts coming in? Or are we going to get rain? It just wasn't an issue. And it was like, temps were always nice. It could get hot, but not like crazy hot. You just take out a lot of elements at Carson where in other places it's not like that, like very few places are like that. And so it was really cool. Yeah, and then when you moved you had these, the warm-up area at Carson, you had these nice tents and air-conditioned tents, and I don't know, maybe it was just also just the beginning of it, and it just felt really cool to me. So that could have been it too. I mean, don't get me wrong, Madison was still a cool spot, and I enjoyed some of it, but there's something about Carson that was just so special. It was so awesome. Like that, in the stadium or the soccer stadium, it was even, they had the big hill that they implemented the stairs, a lot of running in and out of the stadium. So I don't know, it was special. I'm excited to go back, that's for sure. It's been a while. Gosh, almost fucking 10 years. That's crazy. 8 years. The tennis stadium is, nothing compares to it. I don't care what anybody says, Madison's indoor arena did not compare to the tennis stadium at night under the lights. That was such a special venue and so cool. And man, I'm excited to see how they do that. If when the nighttime comes, and yeah, that's gonna be something special. You're right. There is gonna be some comparison. They got a lot to live up to.
What's the point of the gut check?
So the gut checks are, just every once in a while, it's good to check yourself, right? Make sure that you're not getting soft and getting complacent and getting weak, because being comfortable, you get used to it. You get, it becomes a place where you're like, oh yeah, it's nice to be comfortable. You start to just become something that you do, and then can start not putting yourself in uncomfortable positions, where when we put ourselves in uncomfortable positions, we tend to have see growth, right, in ourselves. We create our own change. We create our own these situations where we're uncomfortable and we have to test our mind and our gut, right? Like, hey, can I keep going even when it gets hard? Because sometimes life throws this shit at us and we have to deal with it. And I think that too many people don't put themselves in uncomfortable positions so that they know how to handle those types of scenarios, right? They're just so used to being comfortable and, you know, being in their little safe space. And so when things get uncomfortable, they don't know how to handle it. And so when we put ourselves in these positions, now it just makes it easier for us when life throws it at us and we have to deal with it, instead of being like, oh shit, I don't know how to deal with this right now. I'm so used to being comfortable and cozy and safe, where it's not how life is. We get shit thrown at us. Life's your ups and downs, ebbs and flows, and we have to be able to deal with them mentally and physically. And so the gut check is that, right? It's us putting ourselves and creating the mental resilience when things get hard, how to handle it.
When did you start doing gut checks?
We actually started these over in Iraq on my second deployment. Me and a buddy, we would go into the gym and we actually called them Gatorade challenges. And we would basically come up with really dumb shit to do. And we wanted everyone in the whole platoon to do it. And then we called them like, oh, Gatorade challenge. Whoever won, the other person had to go get the guy a Gatorade, because that's what we drank. You know, you had tons of Gatorades over there and shit. So I've kind of switched it since I came home and started calling them gut checks. And so, yeah, now it's like, you know, you'll send the workout to your buddies and be like, hey, gut check of the week, get some. And yeah, it's been fun. I've been doing it since like 2010.
Who's on the text message thread?
My buddy Mason, Tim, as you guys would know in YouTube. Tim hasn't been around for a while. Dom will get him. Rich, back in the day, Rich, Dan, myself, Pat Sherwood, James Hobart, Austin Maliolo were on a text message thread, and where we make up a gut check of the week, and the winner got to pick the next gut check of the week. We haven't done that in a long time, though. That was back in the day. Yeah, so, you know, sometimes just randomly sending to random people. Haven't talked to people in like 5 years, like, hey, gut check of the week, go. That's what you get when you're friends with me. Gut checks. Not happy birthdays. Gut check. This is gonna be gross.
What's going through your head?
So I'm trying to figure out if I need to do 100 of something or not to make it correct. Just trying to think of what I want to do 100 of. This will be a nasty workout. All right, gut check of the week. Here we go. 100 calorie row. So this is going to have to be, this is a chipper style, so you have to go through one movement, can't break it up. So we're going to start with 100 calorie row, 75 pull-ups, 50 devil press at 50 pounds, or, you know, you can scale that, 50 pounds for me, 40 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever. I don't care, as long as you do 50 devil press. 25 wall walks, which that'll be nasty. And then we're going to end with an 800 meter sled pull with 200 pounds on the sled. So yeah, that will do it. That will test your gut, test your mind. Make sure that we're not getting comfortable and cozy and feeling safe. We need to push ourselves, put ourselves in uncomfortable situations so that we can handle them when life throws them at us. So this will do the trick. In my mind, I think, so the 500 calorie row, I should be right around 5 minutes on that. 75 pull-ups, that could be probably 3 or 4 minutes. 50 devil press is probably going to be more like 7, 8 minutes, if I'm being honest. So what is that? We're at almost 18 minutes there. 25 wall walks, that will get nasty. I bet that takes another 5, 6 minutes. So 25, 800 meter sled pull is going to take at least 10 to 12 minutes. So what is that? 30-ish minutes? 35 minutes-ish? Yeah. You know, it's not a crazy long period of time, but it's definitely long enough to where it will make you feel uncomfortable. And that's a good thing. So let's get to it. Good thing is you got 100 calorie row to warm up. What I might do is go back and forth between here and outside.
Cool.
Maybe 25 something.
You got to use the outdoor rig to scare away the wasps.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta keep them honest. Don't think they own my shit, 'cause it's mine. Goddamn wasps. This will be gross. This will do the trick for sure. I can look at a good gut check and know it's good is when each individual part I know is going to suck. Like the 100 calorie row. It's not that fun. 75 pull-ups. That's probably the easiest part. The 50 devil press. That's gonna suck. That could be a workout itself. 25 wall walks. That is gonna suck too. That's gonna get the shoulders on fire. And 800 meter sled drag with 200 pounds on it. That could be a workout by itself. Why not mix them all up? 75, okay. All right. Well, no use sitting around getting into suntan. Ain't gonna do us no good, no how. All right, gut check of the week. So 100 calorie row, 75 pull-ups. You can do them kipping or strict, whatever. I think I might go strict today. 50 devil press, 50-pound dumbbells, 25 wall walks, and then 800 meter sled drag with 200 pounds on the sled. You can scale this however you need to. Weights, reps, you know. Again, all we're doing is we're putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations so that when life throws us uncomfortable situations, we are able to handle them and deal with them better than we would if we were always keeping ourselves in nice, comfortable situations. So go get some. And now here's my turn. Here we go.
Oh, fuck. That was fucking bad. There we go. Gut check in the books. That was really dirty. 40-35. 40-35. So, man, that sled pull got real sticky. Whew. Felt like I was pulling a house behind me sometimes, which is a good thing. Try to, as long as you're dragging it behind you, I don't care how you do it. Walk backwards, strap around your hips, strap around your shoulders. Just keep the thing moving as much as possible and take short breaks. It's gonna get heavy. Surfaces always. We have a lot of tar lines, and when that weight hit that tar line, it felt like it added 200 pounds. So, but yeah, that was really good. The row was a easy warm up. You almost forget about it now. The pull ups strict got bad. I was basically doing sets of 5s, 6s. Devil presses really hurt. Holding, I think I went 12-12, and then kind of into 5s, 6s, 7s, something like that. Again, short as possible breaks. My shoulders actually felt really tired from the pull-ups into the devil press and then into the wall walks. Shoulders were fried. So really good gut check. The workout, the movements all, played a part on the next part of it, which is good, to keep you mentally challenged the entire time. Like none of these movements should really stop you in your tracks for good. Just having to take short breaks, right? And something like this, small goals equal big goals. On my row, I think I was at 450-ish, which is right around the pace I wanted to be. Basically just 20 calories a minute. So I held that pretty nicely. I didn't feel too fatigued coming off. It was a really good warm up into the workout. But that pull, going into a pull up, definitely complemented each other's nicely. So yeah, small goals equal big goals in this workout, right? So don't think about the full task at hand. Think about 5 reps, 2 reps, 1 rep at a time, and just keep chipping away at it. And that is a easy way to not get overwhelmed by the number of reps that you have in a workout, right? When we think about the whole thing, it can be very overwhelming, very daunting, and can easily mentally defeat people. Where when you think about just 1 or 2 more reps, 3 more reps, 5 more reps, all of a sudden you're like, oh damn, I only got 10 more reps. I only got 5 more reps. And it's a lot easier to think of it that way. It'll really help mentally keep moving and not get overwhelmed, like I said. So that was really fun. Gut checks are a great way, like we talked about, putting ourselves in these little uncomfortable situations so that we can handle it mentally when life gets hard or other stuff gets hard, so that we're not being comfortable and getting complacent with ourselves. Always good to test the gut, test the mind, and push ourselves, And another thing I want to talk about is staying positive with yourself in these workouts. It's really easy to go negative. I've been dealing with this with my son a lot, going really negative with, even when he's just doing his little workouts or or his athletics, his sports, if he doesn't do what he wants to do, he gets real hard on himself. I don't know where he gets it from, no idea, but he has expectations of himself, which is a good thing. And I tell him that. It's I'm glad you have expectations of yourself and you have these standards for yourself. But it's not okay to allow, when you don't hit them, to let yourself be defeated, right? Because We're not failures until we stop trying. We're not failures until we quit, right? So we don't give up. And then, another way to think about self-talk is like, how would you talk to your friend? How would you talk to a loved one? How would you talk to, somebody else when they're not doing well? And if you wouldn't go negative with them, why would you go negative with yourself? And that's something that I had to learn the hard way. I was a very negative person with myself. I was always the hardest person on myself. I didn't need a coach to be hard on me. I was harder on myself than any coach would have ever been. So, learning to have some positive talk with yourself, mental talk, telling yourself you're okay, telling yourself you're doing good, telling yourself, what you're doing great. It's crazy. And so if you are one of those people who does self-talk, negative self-talk, try being positive and see how it changes. I remember the first time I tried it, I was running on a running machine. And I remember being like, all right, now's not the time to go negative. I didn't feel like I was doing very well, but I told myself, you're killing it. You are crushing it right now. And like 30 seconds later, I looked down and I was running like a 30-second faster pace on my mile. And it was really crazy. It was crazy how staying positive really affected me and helped me in a great way. So, that's something that you struggle with, try it. It's not, there's nothing wrong with it. You don't have to tell anybody, right? It's all up in your mind. So have positive self-talk, see how it translates into your workouts, your life, and anything that, not just workouts, but everything, right? Be positive with yourself and see where it goes. So, boom, knowledge bomb. All right, well, hope you guys enjoyed that. We are heading to Carson for the semifinal this weekend. I'm super stoked. This will drop when we're there. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, do the thing. And as always, don't forget to pay the man.